So welcome everyone. This is our mobility and flexibility class. This is week 6. So appreciate everyone being here. Just a couple of updates this week. Last day we're meeting for this week is tomorrow. That's if you're in my aerobic interval training class. And then we won't be meeting on Friday or Saturday for 4th of July. So other than that, yeah, let's get this started. So if you have any requests on any stretches you want to do, any muscle groups you want to focus on, just go ahead and put that on the chat, and or you could just speak up and let me know. Okay, great.
Didn't you say something about Monday?
Oh yeah, and then Monday, we won't be meeting on Monday. I do have a family event. My little sister's getting married, so I'll have a recording for Monday's class. So, yep. Any other questions or concerns? And then just a heads up too, we are supposed to start re-enrollment for the fall. So that's going to take place in about 2 weeks. So I would just let any professors or any other classes alert them that maybe if you want to be enrolled or don't want to be enrolled. Um, but I usually just re-enroll everyone that's been active. So as long as I see active attendance, I re-enroll them. And for the next semester or the next term, the classes will be the active class will be on Monday and the recovery stretching class will be on Wednesday. So remember in the fall and in the spring, we only meet twice a week, and that's Monday and Wednesday. So unless otherwise, if you don't want to be re-enrolled, please just communicate with your professors. And that would make it super easy for us. So alrighty, let's go ahead. I think I have the settings. Maybe I don't. I didn't. Yep, and we're recording. Great. I'm gonna put this into the yoga setting. Stretch here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with our facial exercises. So open your mouth as wide as you can. Turn your head up and then shut your jaw. So bring your chin towards your nose. So again, open, close. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Very good. All right, now we're going to start with some palpations of our face. So just gentle touches. Just feel yourself right here with your fingertips from your earlobes down your jawline towards your chin. Let's continue that for about another 20 seconds. All right, now let's go from the side of our eyes down to side of our face. And again, just gentle touches. Let's continue, sorry. Okay. Now let's go ahead and use the soft of our knuckles and then just rotate. Okay. And then just the soft part of your forehead as well. So just gentle using your fingers. Very good. Let's go ahead and then begin with some of our breathing exercises. So first one, I want you to just puff up your cheeks with air and then just move that air bubble left to right. Now up and down, upper lip, lower lip. And then let's go ahead and inhale through your nose for about 4 seconds. And then exhale everything out through a small little windpipe. Again. Again. Three more. Last one. Morning, Mr. Ahmed, Maria, Sarah. Good morning. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start with our next stretches, okay? So, look left, left to right. Now up and down. Morning, Lisa. All right, let's do some neck circles. Just gentle neck circles here. Switch. Let's go ahead and look to our left side. But we're gonna add a little bit of pressure to our chin, our jawline. To the left. And let's turn right. Got a little bit of pressure there. Okay, now face up and a little bit down here. Relax. We're gonna sit on our left hand. Okay. Bring that right hand over. Let that elbow drop. And we'll switch. Let's go ahead and bring both hands from back here down. All right, very good. All right, let's go ahead and start working with our upper back and our shoulders. Okay, so we're here. We're just gonna do shoulder circles. Morning, Doris.
Hello.
Morning. So you just roll and reverse. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and do since our shoulders, I'd noticed, over the years that with stretches on the shoulders, we have a lot of them and they do get tired though. So we'll try to separate a lot of them. So let's just go ahead and do a shoulder press motion so you can keep your palms open. And then I'm also away from my backrest of the chair, just so I could try to focus on my posture a little bit better and not get too comfortable with it. So I want to do the shoulder press motion while also holding a nice posture on my back. All right, relax a little bit. We also need a little bit of um, breathing room and some relaxing. So similar motion, similar shoulder press, but this time we're going to keep our hands, our palms facing us, okay? So that's going to change the rotation of our shoulders to a more narrow. Ready? Ten. That kind of again, goes to the shoulders getting a little bit tired. So let's rest the shoulders a little bit, focus on our arms. So right here, just opposite shoulder tap. I gotta grab my water, so we'll probably take a quick little 1 or 2 minute break after we're done with this one. And let's go just the same shoulders, same side. All right, quick little water break. I'm gonna head inside real quick, but let's grab some water. And back to our shoulders. So we did our shoulder press, so now let's go ahead and do snow angels. Okay. Calf scratching pose. Here, reach up towards the ceiling. Right to the bottom. And reach. Um, reach. Reach. Up. Reach. Again. 2 more. Last one. Very good. Okay. And from here, back over here, let's go ahead and do our flies. Okay, so arms are here. Bring 2 more. Okay. Very good. Underhand, upright lift. So from here over. So palms are facing the screen. And this is not just the shoulders, but it's also working out your chest. Okay, and this is similar to the Harlequin lift. Sorry, getting a little stuffy here. So similar to the Harlequin. So over here, and just elbows up. Very good. All right, let's do our trunk rotation. So grab a hold of your chair, rotate to the right. Switch sides. Just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and do some elbow external rotation. So just keep your elbow to your side and rotate out. Yesterday, my mom's car broke down, and I went to go try and help her, and we thought it was a battery, and went and got her a new battery, installed it, and it didn't go. So we're upset. We called AAA, and then let's switch. The driver, he arrived and he saw the car, he kind of diagnosed it, saw what was up with it, and then he went back to his tow truck, came out with the metal pipe and started like took it to a part of the engine and just started hitting it. And after that, the car turned on. So it reminded me of when I was a lot younger and my video games wouldn't play and I would start smacking them and then they would work after a while. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of uh, I was like, really? That's what helped it. So all right, and then let's go with our snow angels here.
So does your mother have to carry a pipe and bang on the
So
engine if
I
her car
told her,
doesn't
yeah.
start?
So after, she thought she assumed the car was fixed after that. And I was like, no, this part needs to get replaced. But in the meantime, you should probably take a pipe with you or a stick or a broomstick or something. And I showed her where to whack it. So, but I'm hoping we replace that. Maybe, well, this weekend's kind of wild. But maybe by the end of next week. So luckily, I don't think she drives more than like 4 miles a day, maybe five, but yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to our farm. So allow that wrist to collapse past your knee. So, and then we're gonna, that wrist or that hand wants to push up and the other hand wants to push down. We'll feel that farm working, okay? So let's do 8 of those. Push up and then down with the other hand. More. Yeah, my siblings are driving down. Let's push down. My older sister and her family um are driving down from Washington right now. They left at 5:30 this morning. So they have about another 13 hours to go, I would say. So fun, fun drive. It's a pretty drive. I mean, it's pretty from like Reading until Washington. But from Reading to here the Grapevine, it's just open land. I mean, it's pretty too, but it's just not as entertaining. All right, let's go with the right hand. So bring each finger without flexing to the center of your hand. And my mom and I got caught in a blizzard by Mount Shasta. This was earlier last year when we drove out there. But was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. Yeah, it wasn't this year. But that was 16 or 17 hours each way of driving. All right, now let's do it bending each finger while bending each knuckle. My longest road trip was from Sacramento, from Chico, which is near Sacramento, all the way to Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. So I think back then we used to use MapQuest, not GPS on the phones. So we had our pages of MapQuest, and I think we had about 15 pages. That was a 48-hour drive each way. Okay, now let's go ahead and web them out. Back. Has anyone done a long drive like that before, across the country or a long road trip? Terry, I feel like you would
I have done quite a few from east to west.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and from north to south.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's it, no more.
Yeah, yeah. North to south, where?
Well, from
Yes.
north to south, you go from Illinois
Uh-huh.
down to Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then you go from New York
The fifth. Uh-huh.
to Washington or California.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's completely across the whole country. That's longer than what I've done then.
Yeah, you take 80 or you take 10.
Yeah. All right, now let's go ahead
I
and then
prefer 10 in the south to
web
go
them out.
to
Yeah,
come to California.
to Florida. Yeah. What about you, Doris? You said you've done something too, Doris?
From here to Vancouver, Canada and back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So maybe another 5 or 6 hours longer than where my sister lives. Yeah, so that's like 22 hours maybe. Yeah. It's nice, like if let's switch to the left hand. Like if you're doing it, did we do this one? No, we haven't done this one. So let's work on this.
We stayed in all the national parks all the way up to the border.
That's the way to do it. I
So
would
we
love
were
to.
camping. And then when we got to the border, we had all our camping gear. And of course, they had to look through all of it.
Oh, shoot.
But they were not looking at our car. They just
Yeah.
pulled us over so they could have more people in there to watch this other guy. And he got
Oh,
arrested, or they took him into the office.
okay.
And as soon as they did that, they told us, oh, you can go.
Yeah. Jeez, that's wild. Let's go ahead and bring, oh, 1 second. Landlord's checking in right now. Oh, so give me 1 second. He wants to work on our sprinkler system, but that's like right here inside this garage. I gotta tell him I'll be ready in about 40 minutes. Sorry about that. Been trying to figure out our sprinklers for a while. Okay, so each finger individually. Yeah, I think I've mentioned several times I went to school up north in Northern California, and I did a terrible job at taking advantage of going out there and exploring those national parks or monuments. Um but yeah, now when let's web our fingers out. Now when I'm in the area, I try, and I have time, if I have time, I try to take roads less taken. So just to see parts of sorry, parts of the state that I will probably have no business going by. Um, but yeah, it's really pretty. Let's do some wrist circles here. So just gentle wrist circles. Like I've been to like the most northern east part of like California, just like stuff that's like way, way out there. I did a road trip from my buddy was living in Mammoth, so I drove from here to Mammoth, and then his in-laws had a now switch directions. His in-laws had a condo or a cabin in Lake Tahoe or in Truckee near Lake Tahoe, and then yeah, we looked at the GPS to go to Eugene from Lake Tahoe. And then let's go ahead and start working down our hips. So from Lake Tahoe to Eugene, I think, let's bring that out. I think it was something like 8 or 9 hours, or maybe 7 to 9 hours. But anyways, if we went through Highway 5, it was going to be about no, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes faster. But we've seen that part of the state. So I just told my buddy, I was like, hey, like screw it, let's go through like this very rural area. Um, so yeah, so we took the longer road, added like maybe an hour to our trip, but yeah, we saw places or parts of the state that, would probably never go out there. And it's like Susanville and what else is out there? I think we drove. We didn't see Crater Lake, but we ended up driving by it. But yeah, but it was just like roads way out there, super beautiful. Wish we had more time to actually explore a little bit, but there's a lot of neat stuff in like Eastern Oregon and like I said, Northeast California. So really pretty. All right, let's go right heel on our left leg. Yeah, when I was in Chico too, we had a race competition in Boise, Idaho. So and I was happy we took two different routes there. And one of like the most picturesque lakes I've ever seen was in Eastern Oregon. Um, and it was just so pretty. We were like driving, it's like stuff that you see in like museums, like in a painting. But we're driving next to this lake heading south on its east side, and on the lake had just gone through like a big thunderstorm or something, and it was close to sunset, and the sun rays were beaming through the clouds, shining on the lake, and on the other side of the lake, it was just like miles and miles of let's bring that knee up of like wheat fields or like yellow grass. So the whole place was just golden. Like it was kind of ridiculous how beautiful that scene was. And I just like that's probably like the prettiest thing I've ever seen. And it was just like this random lake in East Oregon after a storm. But just a combination of, and the timing that we were there was awesome. So left foot on the right knee. So, yeah, so I always think about like going back just to that lake and trying to experience that again, but conditions have to be perfect. Like, it has to be after a storm, it has to be around sunset. Uh, but yeah, it's still a pretty lake. This side's a little tighter. All right, and then gently push down on that knee. Is here. Well, I think I did another trip. It was from Erie in Pennsylvania um, with the U-Haul all the way to San Diego. And that was like a 48-hour trip. The crazy part is that that was in like late May, back in like 2019, I want to say. Yeah, 2019. And we happened to be driving through we did our hip openers. Let's recline back, do our lower leg raises. But we are driving through you know, like the Midwest during like tornado season. And I think during those 48 hours that we drove, um, I didn't see any, but they had it was like a crazy weekend for tornadoes, and I think they said there was about 108 tornadoes that touched down that weekend. And I believe it because I saw some clouds that I had never seen before, just some weird formations out there. And we have this U-Haul vehicle and we're nervous. It's not like we're driving fast. And then I think we stopped for lunch somewhere in Texas, like on the panhandle of Texas or Oklahoma. I forget. Um, but we heard some sirens going off, and we're like, okay, we gotta go. But it was, yeah, pretty gnarly stuff. Might have been New Mexico too. I know they got some tornadoes in like northeastern New Mexico.
I have never seen a tornado, even though I have going back and forth.
Oh, really?
Thank God I have never seen one.
That's a good kick. Yeah, it just seems very scary. Like midday clouds are like super dark, and then you start seeing some weird looking clouds, and you're just like, oh man, like I don't know if this is a good time to be driving, but yeah, that and then so on our first night we stayed at my friend's in-laws. Let's push, and they lived in where do they live? They live in Columbia, Missouri, and then Columbia or right near Kansas City, might be a different town. Um, and then on the second night we stayed in Albuquerque. So, but yeah, it was a fun trip. It was just nerve-wracking. Okay. Then let's do we did this last time, so we're gonna do our leg circles, so straight legs, and give me 5 circles counterclockwise with your right leg. Let's switch. Left circle counterclockwise. All right, switch back to the right leg. Right leg clockwise. Then we'll switch left leg clockwise. All right, very good. Now we're going to transition down to our lower legs. So this is where you could be barefoot if you wish. I'm just going to take my shoes off real quick because I do want to work on my arches a little bit more. So again, my feet barefoot. So I'm just going to start with some heel raises. So heel raises here, so just lifting the heels off the ground. Okay, now feet are flat and now toes are coming up. Okay, so I'm bringing the toes up. Okay. Right leg is elevated into my ABCs right there. Switch. All right. Now your feet flat. Okay, and then just kind of scrunch. Bring your toes towards your heel. All right. And then if you have a golf ball nearby or a softball, a baseball, go ahead and grab it. I like to focus, I feel like we just focus on our arches, just a couple minutes the whole week. So I like to do this at least twice a week, like the foam rolling aspect of our arches. So if you have a golf ball, like I said, just kind of go ahead and roll out. Just keep going. Add a little bit of pressure, find a spot that's a little tender. Just to the next of it, just push down. And then just roll out. Be on the side, add a little bit of pressure there. Side. Nice. Let's go to the other foot. Just roll. And just roll. Turn your foot a little bit so you gain the inside arch on that side wall of your foot. Turn your foot the other way. Just get the other smaller wall of your arch for your foot. Very good. We'll probably do some of the floor exercises on a little bit more on Saturday. So I think we'll just get through some of our stand-up stretches and our shoulders right now. So if you could find me your foam roller, if you use that to stretch your shoulders, go ahead and grab that, or your broomstick. And also just take a little water break right now. Some water. Okay, before we go to the foam roller, I do want to do some stand-up stretches. So just gently, this is a little bit more gentle, active trunk rotation. So you're just gentle here. For ab circles. Big hula hoops. Big giant hip circles. Hips are tight. Oh, that's probably the one thing I'd say that I never had to worry about. Um, as like a teenager, or even a college runner, even into my 20s, early 30s. But I've never had any issues with my knees or my hips. And now my hips are acting up, and oh boy, does it suck. Switch. Oh, I think I'm getting old. Oh. All right, and then let's go ahead and do our quad stretch. Back, ankle. Switch, right side. All right, and before we get to our shoulders, we're gonna go ahead and begin with our leg swings. So again, just grab a hold of an item here, and then remember we're just swinging left to right. Okay. Switch to the other leg, other side. Okay. Now we're gonna be to the side of it and swing back and forth. And just turn to the other side. All right. All right, let's go ahead and grab that foam roller. Have that ready. You can do a better job at drinking water. All right. So just here, doing the YMCA. And right here. And then let's bring it low. Just gentle. And we're gonna be pushing again with my right hand. I'm gonna push down to that left, okay? So my right hand's just pushing, that left hand is just guiding. So I see more faces today. Well, no more faces. I see more names and folks showing up today. But yesterday's turnout, we probably had us maybe half the folks that we have today. So yeah, so if you didn't get to yesterday's workout, remember the recording is up 30 degrees forward. So just go ahead and try to get that done. Maybe over the weekend, or if you have time today, if you feel like you have more energy, let's get that workout in as well, just because this is a shorter week, 60 degrees. Right in front of you, 90. Towards the back. All right, right side, ready, go. So bring it up. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go behind the back. Oh, sorry, towards the back. My apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we go behind the back. Right here, up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we lift. Oh, there's a pop. No one always pops. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Good. That. All right, folks. All right. If anyone wants to join me, I guess the last one we could do, I just saw the time. We kind of have like 2 minutes to spare. We could just do our leg swings over the chair. I just like this one because it keeps, nice hip mobility on a fixed leg that doesn't move. So, and we're just here. We'll do 8 on each direction. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, And we're doing the other leg. So switch sides. Face the other direction. Ready, begin. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, and 8, and 8. Very good. All right, folks. Hopefully everyone's nice and relaxed. Hopefully a little bit looser. Tomorrow we are getting after it, so get ready to burn at least like 200 calories tomorrow. And tomorrow's our aerobic interval training class. So, any questions before we head out? All right, I look forward to Wednesdays and Saturdays because I feel like the other days kind of beat me up. So I hope everyone enjoys your Wednesday. But if anyone has any questions, I'll be around for a little bit. But yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you
All
tomorrow.
right, take care. Bye,
Thank you,
folks.
Julia.
Bye, bye. Good workout.
Thank you. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.